Shane Black's The Predator is a troubled film. It's not had the best of reception, and rightly so. Despite the fact that I enjoyed a lot of it immensely, the film has major problems. A fair few of these you'd expect stem from the movie's clunky production, which included a scripted ending they couldn't film because the actor they wanted refused to be in the film, and a reshooting of the entire third act. There is a fair bit in the film to like. I enjoyed the first two acts. The sleek rogue predator looked cool, and unlike most, I enjoyed much of the film's comedy, most of which emitted from the ragtag heroes known as the Loonies. But that's not to say the movie is a success. Out of all four Predator movies, it's in contention to be the very worst. So how can the problems of the Predator be fixed? How could the film have been changed so that it ended up being a lot better than it did? As someone with no knowledge of filmmaking, no experience with the industry, nor any movie related achievements on my CV, clearly I am the best man for the job in deciphering just what could be done to improve The Predator. So let's begin. First of all, the film had major issues with its story. In fact, you could make the argument that pretty much all of the big issues with the movie stem from the script. The most heinous crime Black's film commits is retconning the reason why predators come to Earth, even going as far as to replace the reason why the jungle hunter and city hunter from the first two films came to visit. They didn't come to hunt apparently, instead they were collecting DNA samples from the toughest of humans in order to splice it with their own and make their species bigger and badder, which explains the inclusion of the ultimate predator, the toughest predator yet, which is an indicator that the species plan is working. Also, humanity is about to be wiped out by global warming, and the predators are getting ready for a planet hop as they're looking to call Earth their new home, with us being told of only one predator who seemingly doesn't agree with these travelling plans. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of crap in the story. There was nothing wrong with the predators coming to the planet to hunt humans for sport. It made them scary, it made it terrifying that there were creatures out there that considered humans as prey to pick off for XP points. To rework this and say, nope, those guys were biologists looking for samples of the very best DNA to create hybrids is such a generic and tired plot, and something that takes away a lot from what made the Predators unique. It really looks like the filmmakers looked at Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant and said, hey look, they retconned or revealed the origin of the aliens and fans hated that. Let's do precisely that. The entire story needed reworking before they chose to start production. I appreciate they wanted to expand the lore, to shake things up, but they chose the wrong thing to shake up, and it's understandable a lot of people have sour tastes in their mouths. I was actually really enjoying the film up until the Ultimate Predator got into the thick of things and talks of hybridization cropped up. If the movie continued the way the first two acts did, what with the Predator hunting down the stolen equipment, with the soldiers chasing him down, and had some kind of finale where a showdown happens, I can see people rolling their eyes at the movie's predictability and playing safe with the story, but ultimately thinking, hey, you know what? After the likes of Covenant and Terminator Genisys, it was nice to see a sequel not change the formula, just do its thing and do it effectively. A more streamlined, basic story could irritate fans for other reasons, but at the end of the day, surely it would be better than the infuriating retconning we got, providing if executed properly, which I think it was for the most part until the third act. Speaking of the Ultimate Predator, it was crap, wasn't it? I mean, again, the problem could be eradicated with a script rework, but since they included the hybridized Predator, it has to be said, everything about it was horrible. The dude was done with CGI instead of a man in a suit, and though it might be due to a lack of time because of the reshoots, the effects for the Ultimate Predator were horrible. We went from the antagonist being a man in a suit to a rubbery cartoonish giant. They should have never gone for CGI in the first place. It should have been a man in a costume and prosthetics. And if you're asking, well, how would they be able to make the Ultimate Predator 3 times the size of a normal one with practical effects and with no CGI? Well, why does the Ultimate Predator need to be 3 sizes of a normal one? We can relate to the horror of being hunted by a predator because at the end of the day the creatures are somewhat relatable. They move like creatures with 2 arms and 2 legs move. But the new one is more akin to an overgrown ogre who for some reason has the agility of a ninja. The Ultimate Predator also had 2 predator dogs accompany the hunt with him, and just like with him, they are rendered with horrible CGI too. And they have dreadlocks, and they play fetch. You know it's really bad when you're looking favourably at 2010's Predators, but the hounds in that film were far superior to this movie's. Again, just remove the dogs or have them less puppy-like, remove the ultimate predator or have him as a member of a rival clan who's engaged in a dogfight with the rogue predator. What's wrong with that? Predators actually touched on clan wars, and that was one of the better ideas of the film. I thought the movie was casted well enough, but none of the actors really blew me away. Keegan-Michael Kay was pretty funny and Boyd Holbrook did his best as the lead, but it would have been great if there were some top tier actors in the movie. I think it would have made a massive impact on the film, especially since so much of the movies focused on the humans' fights with each other. Black chased some big names like Benicio del Toro but couldn't land anyone, and ultimately we ended up with a pretty lightweight cast all round. The original had Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime and Apollo Creed. The second borrowed Captain Riggs off the Lethal Weapon flicks and brought along Bill Paxton. And Predators had a pretty neat cast too, featuring the likes of Adrian Brody, Danny Trejo and Lawrence Fishburne even popped up to say hello. One of the biggest problems with the film, the most painful smack across the face for the fans, is the ending, where the humans get hold of a pod which holds an Inspector Gadget style Predator suit with a weapon sticking out of every nook and cranny, delivered to help the humans fight the Predators, again rendered with horrible CGI. As I mentioned in detail in my video on the Predators ending, this was just all wrong. You could have put anything in the pod, anything. You could have even avoided showing us what was in it if you really wanted a sequel, if you wanted to tease one. Just show the other characters' reactions looking shocked and cut the film before we see anything. You could have driven fans mad with anticipation if the smoke parted to reveal a xenomorph egg, a perfect setup to an Alien vs Predator film. Or you could have simply cut the teaser ending out, just remove the entire scene. It wouldn't have affected the film in any way. Does anyone remember the days when blockbuster movies would just end and not tease a sequel? What would be so wrong with that? You have to wonder just how bad the original third act was when the reworked one was one of the worst things about the entire film. Change this by getting rid of the Ultimate Predator, get rid of the silly Iron Man suit at the end, and change the reasoning of the rogue Predator's arrival being to help the humans. Even if he's just here for another hunt or he crashed and is trying to get back to his spaceship, a la the classic hunter being hunted scenario. Maybe swap out a couple of the actors and I think you could end up with a decent film. Not brilliant and definitely not original, but perhaps one that gained a lot more respect for simply effectively giving us a satisfying Predator hunt. As it stands, the Predator's third act and decision to retcon established canon renders it a hated party among an already diverse and wildly inconsistent franchise. Thanks for watching.